Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Clarence Simmons with Loss Prevention Texas, and today we have a super fantastic, great topic for you. And our topic for today is, what is a government letter of authority? Well, in the security business, there's a lot of things that a lot of people don't know, and we're going to let them know a little bit about something, and also let some security companies know because they don't even know what a government letter of authority is. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about what a government letter of authority is, and also we want to make sure that the people that are saying that they're a government letter of authority are doing things legally, because sometimes people make mistakes and they don't just get it right. So we want to help out just a little bit. Okay, what a government letter of authority is a government entity, a state entity, state, city, or county entity that have their own in-house security officers. Now, those in-house security officers, they don't work for a security company. They work for that government letter of authority, or they may work for a private letter of authority. And that is a government entity or a private entity that have their own in-house security officers. And those security officers are licensed by the state of Texas as security officer, meaning there's no shortcut for those people. They still have to go through and get their training to work for that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority. Now, there's also a second part to that, or maybe this is the first part. That government letter of authority or that private letter of authority must have that letter of authority from the Department of Public Safety that shows that they are indeed a letter of authority, either a government letter of authority or a private letter of authority. So, in other words, that private entity, that school district or whatever it is, they can't just go out there and do that on their own. Hey, they're just like anybody else. There are some regulations that cover them. So, that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority, they must have that letter of authority issued by the regulatory services of the Department of Public Safety. Anybody that goes to work for them as a security officer must be in a uniform that shows that they work for that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority. It has to say that on the uniform, the person's last name, security officer, and the name of the entity, that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority that they're working for. And those security officers are just like any other security officer in the state of Texas. They have the same authority as a private citizen, but they do have the authority because they're working as a security officer to do security officer functions. So, background check is the same thing. They have to have the same thing. They have to have an MMPI, a Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory exam, if they're working armed. If they're working unarmed, they still have to be a non-commissioned officer working for that private or government letter of authority. If they're armed, they have to be a commissioned officer working for that government letter of authority, that private letter of authority. So there's no sneaky. They can't get by and do anything else. because they're working for that government entity or that private entity, they still have to be a licensed security officer assigned to that company. Now, that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority can still contract with a security services contractor or a security company. Now, if they do, we want to remind them of something. When they contract with, they're still responsible if that security company sends someone to them that is not properly licensed. They still might fall uh, under the wrath of that litigation, for lack of other terms. So, uh, if you have your own working properly with that government letter of authority or that private letter of authority, if you're a private company, you can do that. If you're a school district, you can do that. And if you're a school district and you have a question on that government letter of authority and hiring your own people and what you need to do for training, that's where we come in. We're Loss Prevention Texas. We handle security officer training. We have been in the training business for 10 years, and we have a whole lot of people out there that are doing exactly what they're supposed to. So, if you want to find those good people, send them to us. We will make sure they're trained, and we want to make sure that you're covered. We want to make sure that they're covered, and most importantly, we want to make sure they're doing a good job. So, if it's a school district, your children, your teachers, your staff, we're all covered and protected by people that are out there doing a good, ethical, safe job. And in that school, our goal, we are there for one and one only reason. One and only reason. Get that out right. To stop active attacks. Now, I'm gonna clear some things up. We're not just going around and training people to go out there and shoot, 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 because they need to know what they're shooting at. So your kids are safe. So the staff is safe. So the school is safe. So we're gonna teach them to do what they need to do to make sure that, like I say about my grandkids, so your little darlings are safe and sound. Thank you very much. This is Clarence Simmons, Loss Prevention Texas. Our phone number 361. It's right there on the screen. 361 232 4101. Or you can call me on my cell phone if you're an administrator at a school. Either call there and my secretary will get a hold of me because normally I'm in class, or you can call me directly, and if I don't answer, you can leave a message. I'll get back to you during a break. 361 429 3057. And a lot of times, what'll happen, I'll have to get with my secretary and she'll have to forward you some information so you can get those things taken care of. But one of the things we want to remind you of, you need to do whatever you do the right way. 361 232 4101. Loss Prevention Texas, 3230 Reed Drive. Our license number is right there on the screen. F01282. Thank you very much. I hope that explained what a government letter of authority is. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.